After Manchester United came out yesterday and revealed that they're really going to conduct conclusive investigations as far as Mason Greenwood's dropped case was concerned, a conundrum has really developed at the board or at Carrington amongst the board members of the club of Manchester United, and we've been told by a United correspondent for The Guardian known as Samuel Jackson that United and its bosses are really divided on the return of Mason Greenwood, meaning that some don't want him to return, others want him to return because they believe that he is a generational talent and they believe that justice has to serve its way. If his charges have been dropped, why don't you let the lad come back to the club and play? So that's what we're going to talk about in there for you, and how the CEO of United spearheading everything concerning the investigations of all this and that more. Then we're going to talk about Sabitzer ready, excited to meet Erik ten Hag, and all along this has been his dream to play under the manager of United known as Erik ten Hag. And lastly, Diego Dalot injury boast confirmed to us by Erik ten Hag that can even be part of the match squad tomorrow. That when you're playing a team called Crystal Palace at Old Trafford. Welcome to this channel. Rock and David is my name. This happens to be the last video of the day, but if at all there is a breaking story, we'll come here and talk about it. There is a story developing about the Glazers that they are really evaluating or assessing whether to sell the club or not, because they know that it's going to be making more money because Ten Hag is back and the team is performing very well, meaning that if they can get an investment of like £500 million, they can even get more of their dividends, because they used to get close to 11 million pounds per quarter. So that means if the club is performing very well, those dividends can increase to like 30 million pounds per quarter. So it looks like they are looking and really trying to see to it that they don't really move out of the club, because some dividends are really coming in through because of the performances, and that's an anticipation by them. But all that is going to be covered tomorrow. This time around I want to talk about Diego Dalot, Greenwood, and a player known as Sabitzer Martial, the loanee from Bayern Munich. Now, the Guardian Sport has told us that United have launched an internal process overseen by the CEO Richard Arnold to determine their next steps regarding Mason Greenwood. So this is something that was really put outside there as a team of United came out and really said, we are going to conduct an intensive investigation as far as this is concerned. Obviously, a team of very many competent people has been put up there. The CEO is at its helm to see that this really comes to dust, because there is a situation that has really developed in between the board of United, and it has been told us by the correspondent of United, The Guardian, that United staff are split over whether Mason Greenwood should be allowed to resume his career at the club. Obviously, this is Jamie Jackson. You know him very well. He's a United correspondent for The Guardian, and he's really bringing us this story, meaning that he's getting it from inside the club. But to me, I don't take this as news. Do you know why? On everything that happens in this world, there are proposers and opposers. Even if something is benefiting everyone, there will be that one person who is going to come out and really have a blue eye at that thing. So I believe it is expected that board members won't all agree on the same thing, because that board team will have people like Darren Fletcher who are really working on the academy, and their footballers, they know what it means for a career to be really distorted at that particular age of the guy. 21 years of age, is making 22 in November. And secondly, there are financial constrictions, financial losses that United will make if at all they make a decision of really letting off this boy and terminate his contract, because they never even had money to spend on signing players permanently. Now, do you think they'll go ahead and really terminate the contract of Greenwood when they don't have money? Unless otherwise they wait for new players to come in through and obviously get this lad off. So there are very many factors to consider, and this is what has brought in divisions, because the financial department will say this is what is going to happen. There are the brands, there are there are very many other people who are really doing some good stuff for the club of Manchester United, and they have to elevate and really use the telescope. You get the magnifying glass to see to it that they really come out with the best decision. But divisions have really brought in a very huge conundrum at Old Trafford as far as letting Greenwood return or not return. So his return and restarting his career or resuming his career at the club has really caused divisions at Manchester United, and you expect this to be because every person will front his decision, and obviously the public court is really having divided opinions. Some saying he really did it, so he should really be given the don't be given benefit of the doubt. He should really leave the club. Others are saying he should really come back and play. So the only thing that Greenwood has is the girlfriend, and I know the girlfriend and the lawyers behind Greenwood are really drawing a plan that is really going to get Greenwood back without no even a black spot on him. I believe he's not going to be having a dark spot, because what is only needed right now is the girlfriend to come out and really put out a post that maybe I was lying. You get? That's what the girl is going to do. And she might not even be charged in the courts of law, because they'll say, all right, she might say I was not in my right mood because my boyfriend had really done this and this and this and this, so he cheated or what. So cheating is okay. Very many pro footballers are going to hate to cheat. So I believe Greenwood has a lot of weapons to use to get out of this case. And I believe when United agree or decide to terminate his contract, he benefits financially. I believe close to 30 or 40 million pounds will be called for compensation. Then Nike has also to compensate him if at all they really continue to discontinue his contract, because they terminated it no sooner had that news broke that he is really alleged of having sexually harassed the girlfriend. So it's working like a charm for Greenwood, and even if the career might really get a backslide, but financially he's really going to be earning in a lot of money. Then he went ahead to tell us about this situation at Old Trafford, that a substantial proportion of the workforce would be deeply unhappy if Greenwood played for the club again. Others feel a duty of care towards a player who joined at 7 and has not been found guilty of any crime. United are weighing up his future. So that's it. And I see a lot of seniority in this, because if you saw this player come in at 7 and he has not been found guilty, then why should you go out and really judge him if at all you are the court? And that comes in with lots of alarms. Get? So United needs to go all out and really look at itself and really know that it's not all that they deserve to really get this player in, get off themselves Greenwood, because he's innocent, and if at all he was found innocent, then why are you offloading him off? You get? So they've brought in lawyers to see to it that everything goes on as factual. So there is Jamie Jackson is going to let us know that there will be a consideration of any potential commercial impact of keeping Greenwood and of how the episode has affected the United brand and been received by their global partners who are monitoring the situation. Now, the global partners are really monitoring the situation, and them monitoring the situation really puts them into a position of coming in and really tell United their ground, because they want United to come up with a report, and United will go ahead and really use this report to defend itself in these global partners that the research shows A, B, C, D. So no reason for us to really suspend the player if at all, if they really decide to keep him and really allow him to resume his career at Manchester United. So there are lots of things that we're going to talk about into this scenario, and the boy might find himself back. So looks like the board is really having lots of divisions, and that is the conundrum I'm talking about, because every person at the club has his opinion and it's valid. Those that want him back have their valid opinions and their sounding. Even those that don't want to see him back have their sounding reasons, but they are really affected by one thing, the boy has been found not guilty. He's innocent. So, if he was found guilty, then it would have been an easy decision to be taken by Manchester United. But right now, it's hard because cases have been dropped. Public court has its own opinion, though it's divided in different aspects. So, we'll leave it there and see who is really going to come in and do the needful for the club of Manchester United on a decision of Mason Greenwood, 21 years of age, generational talent, very good player. I really rated him highly. Till now, I rate him highly. And I believe if he returns, he will be a very good addition to that squad of Manchester United. Then, let's go to Sabitzer. One of the interviews that he has held today that has been released by the club of Manchester United, Sabitzer said, giving everything in training every day. That is what I am here for. I like the way Ten Hag plays, the way his team plays. He's a good coach, and I've been looking forward to meeting him and playing under him. So we are having a player who had the thirst, who had the hunger to come in and play under Erik Ten Hag. You know, Erik Ten Hag is a manager who plays beautiful football and is good at grooming players. You know, this was something that really affected us in the past, ever since Alex Ferguson left, that I think the only manager we had that could attract players was Louis van Gaal on merit. Jose Mourinho just used agents, corrupted them. You know his stuff. You know what he did. That's why he brought in Pogba, Zlatan. You get? But I believe under Erik Ten Hag, we are having a manager who is going to attract players. You see, when you look at Marcel Sabitzer and the quality of a player he is, you know that he will come in through and obviously do the need for the coach because he knows how good this coach is. And how do you get to know how good the coach is? By how your fellow players come out and really refer to him. Because Ten Hag has coached very many players. Gravenberch is one of those, and maybe even Marcel Sabitzer had to ask Gravenberch about how Ten Hag is. And obviously, he has really gone ahead to do the needful. And secondly, what makes Ten Hag a sounding name amongst all these players is simple, that United for the previous 10 years, it has been on its downfall. But in just a space of 7 months, look at the wonders Ten Hag is doing at Old Trafford, meaning that he is being put in a position of being liked by players, and the decisions being made are really being part of his being at the club. So that's why he says he loves the team and he has been always looking forward to play under the manager and meeting him, because he's really an elite coach and an elite manager that has really gone ahead to really groom very, very good players, and he believes that maybe he'll learn something from him. And by the way, even at Bayern Munich, there are players that are now in the first team of Bayern Munich that were under the reserve team of Bayern that was managed by then Erik Ten Hag, and Pep Guardiola was his boss. So that's it. Now, Sabitzer has said, I've loved the Premier League all my life. It's a special league. I've enjoyed the games. I've played in the UK in the past. I like the atmosphere. The stadiums are beautiful. I'm very excited to play in the Premier League for United. So he's just excited to play at Manchester United. And if at all you remember or recall his interview when we played in COVID, I think it was in the Champions League, he came at Old Trafford. There are no fans, but he really said he loves to play at Manchester United. So that is the player we are really having in here for you, saying that he's very excited to play in the Premier League, especially for Manchester United, and he has enjoyed games in the English Premier League, meaning that he's well conversant of the Premier League, meaning that he knows what it's needed to play in the Premier League, because even Ten Hag has briefed him about. I remember in the press conference, Ten Hag said that they've taken him through some drills, and the rest are basics that he really has and possesses, because physicality is not his problem. And obviously, let's wait and see whether he's going to make his debut tomorrow as United plays a side called Crystal Palace. Then he concluded by telling us that on a busy schedule, that's what I love most about football. Games. I'm ready for it, and I can't wait. So he can't wait to play for Manchester United, very eager. He's a man who always works with his gun coached, meaning that he's ready to face any battle that is going to be put onto his line. And he's a very good addition to this squad. Remember, he was among the players of Bayern Munich that tormented Barcelona in both legs or the first leg. But he's coming in here to play against Barcelona twice in a space of like how many days? In a space of like 7 days, because I think around the 15th we are going to be playing away. We are going to be playing away at Barcelona. Then a week later, 22nd, we'll be playing them at Old Trafford. Then on the weekend we play is it the Carabao Cup final? So that is Sabitzer for you and what is bringing to the club of Manchester United. Now, Erik ten Hag has really gone ahead to confirm to us some good news about the Diego Dalot injury boost. Having seen the photos of him return to training, meaning that the story that Samuel Lucas broke, that he has been trained, he's back into training, was already training, because Ten Hag has told us that he has been training for some days, meaning that it's not only yesterday that he trained for United. Maybe he arrived even a week before, and Ten Hag has always been a master of really not letting news out of the club because he knows the effects. Martial also returned, and we never knew that he returned because in the photos he was nowhere to be seen. But on Tuesday, when he held a press conference of the semi-final second leg versus Nottingham at Old Trafford, he really said that the club of Manchester United is now having the best of Anton Martial and is back, is expected to take part. And that came in through when they asked him about Sancho, and he said that Sancho and Martial are really going to be in the match squad. So that is really something great for the club of Manchester United. Then Ten Hag has said, I think Diego Dalot is doing quite well in the last couple of days. Have you heard? Couple of days, meaning that has been training ever since Monday. He has been back in the team training, and if his training today goes well, he can also return to the squad tomorrow. So I believe that we are having a squad that can really now stretch into getting us the results that most of us have really wanted for a very long period of time. You know, bringing in a player called Sabitzer and Weghorst have really helped us to surpass certain horrible periods. This time around, we are having close to how many games to play? Leeds. We are playing Leeds twice. Crystal Palace. If you're having Diego Dalot, that means even Aaron Bissaka might get a rest and Dalot will come in through and play some games. So I think we are good to go. The only worrying position is that of the midfield, because Donny van de Beek, Scott McTominay and Eriksen are out. Donny van de Beek out until the end of the season. Eriksen returns at the beginning of May. That's it. Then Scott McTominay, I think he has some weeks out. We don't know when he's returning. So it looks like if at all we get another injury in the midfield, it's really going to affect us a lot, because we are having Fred, Casemiro, Sabitzer, and Bruno Fernandes. But the good thing is that we saw the manager really trying to play a player called Sancho in a central attack midfield area. Then he told us that Lindelof was trained as a 6 at Benfica and believes they've been doing some drills of him playing as a 6 in the training sessions, and he has been working it well. So Diego Dalot is back. Don't be surprised if at all he's into the match squad that's going to play Crystal Palace tomorrow. And with the condition of being obsessed with Diego Dalot, you never know. He might even start, because Ten Hag started him, by the way. There is a game we played. Was it against Burnley? Not Burnley. The next game we played, Nottingham, I think, right? He started him in that game, yet has just returned in training. So it looks like if at all Dalot is fit, the manager might decide all up to go all out for him to give him some minutes. But remember, the second game he played against Charlton, he really got an injury and walked out of the field of play. So that is how worst it really got. But your thoughts on Mason Greenwood's return conundrum at Old Trafford? Then Sabitzer, so much ready to play under Erik ten Hag, and he's ready to really be committed and give the team the best. Your thoughts about that are also welcome in the comment section below. And lastly, Diego Dalot boost. What are your thoughts about it? May the Almighty bless you. Abundant Rock and David is my name. I sign out for now. See you later.